Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of April. Let's just check the date there and make sure I was right. I hope you're well. I'm using the Lost Forest for you today. If you haven't seen one of these videos before, it's slightly different to the main monthly read, in so much as I will pull 3 cards looking at the energy that you are in right now. And then I will pull 3 cards to try and work out why you're in that energy, right? We're looking for the lesson. That's why the videos are called that. And, you know, when things are challenging, it can sometimes be useful to be able to pull back and have a look and see what the energy is trying to teach you. And at other times, it's possible that you're being, you know, prepped for a new thing that's coming, right? It's kind of clearing the way. Either way, it seems like a useful exercise for perspective, if nothing else. So, do I have anything else to tell you? The 6-month overview that I did for each of the signs is still available over on Vimeo. They are now less than half price, so they're like 2 or 3 quid. Really nothing at all. So if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description box. You can go have a look. So, let's have a look. I have 3 cards for Virgo's current energy, please. We have 1. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Cups. This is amazing. Shut this fucking window. And 1 more for Virgo energy, please. Whoa. I don't even know what that was. It went down the back of the radiator. Oh, we have the Ace of Wands. This is incredible. We have the 3 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. It's a card that talks about cooperation and collaboration, working, you know, in tandem, possibly with other people, but sometimes, you know, just with the energy or with yourself, you know. But this is glorious for you, and it's very much picking up on the theme of the main monthly reading. So if you haven't seen that, I'll link it at the end and you can have a look. But we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the 8 of Cups, and we also have the 5 of Wands. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is all about new opportunities, right? All of the aces are about potential, and it's about taking that potential and doing something with it, right? Because otherwise it just stays as potential. But the ace says that potentials are here, like whether you are creating them or whether they are just sort of appearing in your environment. It does seem like you are tuning in mentally to the possibility of that. Now, if you want a flat 3D interpretation of the Ace of Pentacles, we could be talking about a new house, we could be talking about a new job. Potential to change your material circumstances in some way, right? So it could be getting a job or a promotion, getting more money. It could be changing your environment. That's a possibility. Or it could just, it really could just be an acknowledgement of the fact that you're ready for change, right? And I really do think that you are ready for change, Virgo. That was very much a theme that came up with the monthly reading. But you're in a very good place to be able to accept that change now, where you might have fought against it a few months ago. So we have also the 8 of Cups here, and it talks about moving away from something. Now, it's very easy to move away from something in the material, but take all of the emotional baggage that you accrued from that situation, you know, with you, right? And that's how we end up with people, you know, projecting and all those kind of, you know, suboptimal behaviors. But this for me talks about leaving behind the emotions, because it is a cup card. It is the emotions associated with a period of your life that you have been in, right? And then we've got the 8 of Wands, which is quite interesting because that can talk about communication, right? And it would be swift communication. So we're talking more likely than not, you know, internet-based kind of instant messenger. It could be that there is news coming to you of a new opportunity, right? That helps you navigate this adjustment towards a shift. I think that's the way I want to put it. But it can also talk about momentum. Like I noticed that we've got 2 8s here, and right? 8s are numbers that are associated with karma and also with hard work and things like that. And there's no doubt in my mind that you have really struggled in this last year, but it does seem like it's coming to completion, you know. And like I said, very much backs up what we saw in the monthly read. So, I mean, it seems glaringly obvious why you're in the energy that you're in at the moment, but let's have a look and see what cards have to say. What about the lesson? What is the lesson here? Whoa, there's lessons abounding all over. I'm going to put all these back in because I want them to jump to the left, not fall out to the right. But nevertheless, it seems like the cards have a lot to say. Tell me about the lesson for Virgo, please. Thank you. We have the page. Oh, that's beautiful. The Page of Skies. We have the Ace of Wands now. And whatever that was. Oh, what are you? Ooh, the King of Swords. So we have the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. That is your king, right? It's strictly, oh, itchy nose. Always when I'm reading. It's strictly associated with Taurus, but it could well be you here. And it, oh, yeah. It's followed by the Two of Swords and the World card. Now, I like the fact that the World card is here because we've got these two aces for you on the table. We're talking about a major completion of a life cycle. And then, you know, new possibilities coming in. But these aren't... I mean, we still might see the Fool. But with the Fool... it's an embarkation on a new path, right? But quite often, because it's major arcana, it talks about those major energies over which you actually have no control. The fact that we've got minor arcana aces here with the Ace of Wands and with the Ace of Pentacles makes me feel like this is moves that you are making in the day-to-day to bring these about to you, right? Big decisions to be made. But with this King of Pentacles, you know, a real... point of focus, I feel, on your environment, but also on your sense of duty and responsibility and those people for whom you wish to care for, you know, that sort of thing. But the lesson here is absolutely extraordinary because we've got, in the first instance, the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords for me talks about... it talks about the gathering of new information, right? Sometimes it can be messenger, but I rarely see it that way, to be honest. It's kind of like that mental expansion that comes from taking in more information. And I love the fact that in this card, it's depicted as an owl that is up in flight. You know, it's talking about that elevated perspective. And I think that that's something that's really coming through for you now, Virgo. It's that pulling away from I would say from the Five of Cups energy, which is something that has kind of peppered your readings for the last year, kind of being able to be pull right back from that and see everything from an elevated position now, right? And moreover, it feels like it needed to come from you. It wasn't possible for someone else to provide this for you, right? This is something that you had to experience yourself and now pull yourself back to look at things, because we've got the Ace of Wands here and it's right in the center of the reading. This card speaks to me of the will to live. It talks about a reignition of passion and drive, you know, and a willingness to experience everything that life has to offer, because ultimately the Wands cards are all about life and experience and passion and creativity and all those things, yes, but a real willingness to engage with those, which is, you know, coming anew from your new perspective. Hey, you've learned the most painful and difficult lesson this year, and it's been, well, for some of you it has been cruel. I've done enough personal readings with Virgos to know that there have been cruel lessons that have been dealt. However, what comes next is all driven from you, and this is so, feels so very important, right? Because it's changed you. It's changed you dramatically, but it's also changed what it is that it's deepened your understanding of what it is to be alive. And so you might find the small things really mean something to you now in a way that maybe you might have overlooked before. You know, something that you might have been critical of before, you just let it fly, you know, because it's not important. You have such a sense of perspective now about what is important. It's glorious. And the final card is the King of Swords. Now, it's Aquarius energy, but it's taking that page and it's elevating it to a point of wisdom. tremendous wisdom, right? And he speaks of intellect and logic and all of those sorts of things, but it feeds in really closely to this feeling of re-engagement, right? Heart, body, mind and soul, all of it together, working in tandem. Now, it feels like a sense of purpose where you have been in the dark and so devoid of purpose for such a long time, you know. And it's entirely self-directed and self-generated. And this is the important thing. 2 aces, 2 kings. The wisdom that you're rocking now, Virgo, is profound. You know, I've spoken before about, you know, those people who kind of live life between these 2 lines here, and nothing truly terrible ever happens, but really they've no appreciation of anything particularly. It's like it just kind of whittles along here. And in my experience, when you have experienced down here, you know, there's a down here, you know what it is like to be up here. Anything above this center line is now an event that is worthy of such gratitude, you know, such joy to experience. If you've understood what it is to live down here, then you can live up here too. There's a quote by Lawrence van der Post that I always murder every time I try and remember it, but it was like something about basically the depth to which you can sink is a testament to how high you can soar. I have absolutely murdered that. If anybody knows what it is, feel free to put it in the comments. I might dig it out later myself. But this is what I'm feeling for you here, Virgo. It is that true understanding of what it is to be down here now gives you that joy, that appreciation for anything above here. And it elevates. It elevates your experience. Let's get some cards of advice. Some cards of advice. It hit me in the nose. Right, so what do we have here? Yeah, this is incredible. So we have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. It's the card of the self, you know, everything to do with the self. Oh, it's followed by the Empress as well. That's stunning. The cards of Cancer and Taurus, respectively, for me, right? Some people say that's Libra, but I cannot get my head around that, right? The Chariot talks about success. Right? More than that, it talks about self-directed, and there's that word again, we're coming back to it. You know, it's everything to do with the self. It's about balance, it's about alignment, it's about truly understanding all aspects of yourself and what it is that you want to achieve. I mean, fuck, we're coming back to fucking purpose again here, right? And feeling empowered to do it. Right? Not feeling reliant on anyone else to do these things for you, right? This is what I mean, it's completely self-generated. There is an autonomy here. What do you want from the rest of your days, Virgo, right? Like, you could get run over by a bus tomorrow. In fact, like, really major life event that happened to me a few years ago. And the person concerned, I turned around to say, no, I've maybe got 30 years left on this planet. If I'm lucky, I'll be fucked if I'm going to spend it. Well, at this point, I'm kind of sitting around for you, but also paying any attention to what anybody else thought. I am a sovereign being, right? I am a soul living a human experience. I am here to learn, and I am going to do it. And this is the kind of energy that I'm getting off you here, Virgo. With the Empress, we've got, you know, abundance, yes. Fertility, yes, you know, in that kind of broad sense of bringing new things in. But we also have, you know, a very nurturing and caring quality here with the Empress that is, again, kind of turned back to oneself, filling your cup first so that you can, you know, help other people and do other people, do other people, help them in the way that you want to without it draining you. You know, you've really experienced the darkness in this last year, right? For some of you, that's actually gone on even longer than that, right? But you're climbing, you're elevating, Virgo. And the very first card of advice is the Six of Wands. Now, the Six of Wands is a card of Leo, and it talks about victory and success, just as the Chariot does, right? That's what gives you the determination and all that sort of thing. But the sixes are about movement, and it's movement in a positive direction. Note there that we have a phoenix, right? Elevating, always elevating and climbing up, right? Now, I'm not saying that you will just forget every awful thing that's ever happened to you, no, but it forms now part of your toolkit, right? So having experienced all of this and come out the other side, yes, a little bit battered, a little bit tatty, a little bit scarred in places, but you know things now that you did not know before, right? The insights have been incredible. And from here on out, it really does feel like your ability to experience life, right? Really understand what it's about has elevated, right? It's huge. We've got the Two of Cups here and the Eight of Swords, and I think that these are really, really interesting too, because the Two of Cups is about intimacy, right? Now, it could be that you kept part of yourself back, right, for years and years and years without really knowing why you did it, not really understanding why you did it, and not really feeling like changing it. But it seems to me now you understand the value of intimacy, and I feel for a lot of you that there's a willingness to be open, more open about lots of things, because I don't think, Virgo, I don't think that you just had a one-off awful event. I think for some of you, what's occurred in the last year has been a culmination of things that you've always just dealt with, right? And when you just pick yourself up and deal with it, move on, you know, and you've possibly overthought it and all that sort of thing, but it's been very, very internal. I think this last year has been the straw that broke the camel's back, and to that end now you've been like, why am I keeping all of this quiet? Because do you know what, you're not the only person who's experienced it, and I kind of think that this is important. There are people out there who are living things that you have experienced, whether it's been over the last year or in the last 20 years, who would really benefit from knowing that they're not alone. That is a gift that you have, Virgo, and you now have the strength and the drive and the determination to make sure that these people understand that they are not alone, because everything's connected. We're all connected. But there's healing for you in there, Virgo, too, right? That opening up. And, it could have been a fear of judgment or any one of a number of things that could apply here. But I think that you understand yourself now to such a degree that the possibility of judgment for anybody else or whatever the reason is that you've kept yourself, part of yourself, back from the people that you know, it doesn't really apply anymore. The final card that you've got is the Eight of Swords, and a thoroughly appropriate card here. It speaks about mental restriction, right? There is no greater cage than the one that we build for ourselves in our own mind. And I think, Virgo, part of what you've really understood about yourself, latterly over the course of this year, because I don't think it was the first thing that you were thinking of before, in whatever's happened, is just how limited you have allowed yourself to be, right? And that's self-imposed to a degree, right? It might be as a result of things that have happened to you, but ultimately it was up here where you kept yourself small, you kept yourself self-critical and almost reductive in your own energy and power, right? There's a transcendence here, Virgo. And that which kept you trapped, an understanding of that which has kept you trapped, is now the thing that allows you to open up and be free. I can't shift this feeling that there are others, right? There are others who you can help with this, and that's so important. it shouldn't be your priority right now. You need to be your priority. But I think over the course of the coming months, you're going to have a really surprising kind of reaction from other people in that willingness to show how trapped you have been by your own mind and leaving it behind. It's an extraordinary reading, Virgo. It's not a lesson that I would wish on anyone, but truly the wisdom contained therein is really starting to bob to the surface now. It's profound, right? I'm going to leave it there. Know that I love you all so very much, and I am so very proud of what you're doing. If nobody's told you that today, I am proud of you. And take care, and I will see you soon.